Roswell is what they call the ground zero of the UFO phenomenon, right? And so Roswell is in New Mexico, and it is in a very, very, very remote place in New Mexico, right? Matter of fact, it's so remote, if you're not going to Roswell, you would never have any reason to go there, right? That's how remote it is, right? It's on the way to nothing. So July 1st, 1947, Roswell, New Mexico recorded one of the worst lightning storms it's ever had. Dry heat lightning storms that was kicking up out there. The same time that on that day or that evening, 3 local bases in the area, the Roswell Army Base at the time was the only atomic base that we had. Also White Sands Missile Range and this other place called Alamogordo Bombing Range. We're tracking high-speed moving objects flying back and forth on their radar. These objects were moving so fast that they were skipping across the thing. They would be in one place and be in another place, come back and forth, right? The technicians thought it was a glitch. And they thought it was such a glitch that they took their machines apart and they tried to make sure everything was working properly, functioning properly. It was, put everything back together. Now, nothing happened that night, right? Like no major reports happened that night, except the following stuff. And I got some names down here. Try to give a little credit. This guy named Dan Wilmot and his wife were sitting on the porch, and they were just watching their lightning storm go past, and they saw these discs shooting across the horizon, going back and forth. They made a phone call. This other cat named Steve Robinson, right? One flew over his delivery truck. He was like, okay. He stopped, made a phone call, and the guy that was on the receiving ends of these phone calls was a sheriff named George Wilcox. And how come every time you call the sheriff, they tell you it's not what you think it is? and just keep on keeping on, partner. It's not what you think it is. Sure, it's so. So he's receiving these. To this guy's credit, man, this was a pretty far out story about, I don't even think I don't even think the word UFO was invented yet, right? But he said, "Hey, look, everybody, stay calm." And he's getting dozens of these phone calls. It's like, "Hey, it's just a extremely large lightning storm going on." But that's not the first time you hear somebody calling a sheriff in the rural areas. "Hey, sheriff, I think there's a moonshine operation going on in my barn." "Nah, you're good. You're good. I'll be there tomorrow." It's 7 o'clock. It's 7 p.m. I'm about to take my shoes off and eat some biscuits. I'll be there tomorrow, right? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So
subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.